Hey everyone, this is Eon Orange, and today I'm wanting to show you guys the, I guess, development on my game here, Snowdown Arena. It is a passion project I've been working on for kind of on and off for about a year in my free time, and I've made some pretty big new changes, and I'm excited to show you all those. So first of all, let's go ahead and get a server set up here. We'll just have this instance host it. As you can see, the most obvious change here is the lighting and environment, which has been greatly improved. I've gone ahead and redid the skybox and made the sky shader actually part of the skybox rather than, just a big plane up in the sky, which is really good because it doesn't just awkwardly end out in the distance, which I'm really happy about. I've also added this background here where it's like, there's. I guess this fortress is on an island in a lake, which doesn't make very much sense, but we'll roll with it for now. And I've also set the fog to have sun scatter in it, which I think really goes a long way to make this sort of serene morning atmosphere, which I think is definitely an improvement from the sort of flat overcast that it used to be. And the second thing you notice is that the dynamic snow is a lot better now. For one, there's particles that play when you're walking in the snow. The snow deforms correctly and everything. And also there's particles that play whenever you jump in the snow, which I think looks pretty nice. Also, you can now throw a snowball, and it leaves like a little crater in the snow that fills up. You can see there, it's got some chunks that blow out. So, yeah, also, I've overhauled the water here. Gave it this kind of icy effect, like the rim of it is kind of freezing a little. And added this guy in here. Doesn't really serve much of a purpose. It's just kind of fun. You can stand on him if you want without falling in. But, yeah, this guy just kind of floats around. And some ramps. You can go down here, slide up this ramp, and then jump over the fountain, which I'll go ahead and show you here. So if you just get a bit of a running start, you can jump over this. And it's just about the right height to jump down the other side. Just kind of snowboard around a little. Also, these are new. I added some ways to get up to the second level of these forts here, which, as you have probably gathered, this is kind of loosely based off of Block Fort from Mario Kart 64. But previously, the only ways to get up here was to either, go up this ramp, or you could sort of blast jump up here. Kinda. There we go. We'll go ahead and get a health pack because we're kind of running low here. There we go, all topped off. So, I think that will add some, good routes here. Like, you can hop up this. And then, by the way, here's the golden shovel. This model is about finished. I haven't made the actual shovel model, so right now a dip in the snow just kind of appears in front of you whenever you press the melee button. Which actually refills your ammo now. So, like, if I throw away a few snowballs here, if I do this, you can see our ammo increases. So now if you shovel in the snow, you get some ammo, which I think is really fun. And also, the grind rails are finally fixed. So you can now grind on these to get around a little faster, which I think is pretty fun. It's pretty addicting to do, try to line them up. Oh, okay, looks like I failed there. But anyways, let's go ahead and get in the other player here, so we have someone to shoot at. So, I've got a second instance of the game open right here. Oh, it's because it's full screen, so let me make this not full screen. Wait, is it? Oh, there we go. But anyways, let's go ahead and have this guy connect over localhost. I'm not going to be showing the split screen functionality because it's remained pretty much unchanged since last time, and I don't want to take up half the screen real estate with just another player who sits there and does nothing, but it is still here. I didn't remove it or anything. But yeah, we can go ahead and connect to the server, and let's see. Yep, there you are. Hello. Let's go ahead and freeze him. There we go. Get out of here. You can bat him around with a shovel, which I think is really fun whenever you freeze someone. But yeah, you can... I've also added headshots into the game. So if you blast him in the face with a snowball here, you can see it says brain freeze right there, which I think is a pretty fun little thing. It gives you a few extra points in your little points counter in the top. But yeah, we've got kill streaks and stuff now. All good stuff. I kind of want to rework the blast radius of the projectiles, because right now it's possible to take like 1 damage if you're at the very edge of it, which I think is... I think it's a little too generous. This is kind of a pretty wide blast range. You can see he's only taking like single-digit damage there. By the way, since the update to Godot 4, 4.4, for some reason, like you can see it in the FPS counter in the top right. These all have decimal points after them. You can also see it whenever we do a trick. Like you can see here if we do a front flip. The degree counter showed a decimal point despite it being an integer, which is kind of odd. I'll have to look at that later. But anyways, yeah, speaking of the trick system, I improved the landing a little bit, so we can do that. So if you're within 15 degrees of flat, you get a perfect landing, or you can just freeze yourself like I did there. But yeah, let's also show off a few of the other weapons. So we got the snowblower. I did also rework the little 3D icon in the bottom left. So now, instead of it being a model that's just way off in space with a camera pointing at it in-engine, it's a pre-rendered GIF I made in Blender, so it should be a little more efficient. But we got the snowblower, which is kind of this game's machine gun. We can... Oh. I guess he was already on really low health. Let's go ahead and show it again. You can see we can kind of just chop him down like that. Then we got the Ice Crusher, which is one of my favorite ones. It's this game's shotgun. You can see it shoots out a bunch of pellets, but the decal's a little broken. I don't know what happened to those, but at some point, probably during the update to 4.4, the decals broke. But yeah, you can, shotgun him to death. Or I guess not death. You don't kill anyone. You can't kill someone with a snowball. But it also has an alt fire, which is this bag of ice that shoots out. And you can see like the cubes of ice scatter there. It does quite a bit of damage. It does 100 damage. Also, for some reason, the damage numbers are behind the tree leaves, which I'll have to look into. But yeah, I really like this weapon. You can also sort of get a bit of knockback whenever you shoot it while you're airborne. It also happens when you're on your snowboard here. You can see we kind of get a bit more force. But anyways, next we have the extinguisher. So the joke behind this weapon is it's supposed to be like a flamethrower type weapon, except it's a fire extinguisher instead of a flamethrower. I thought that would be pretty funny. But I gotta be honest, I don't even know if I'm really feeling this weapon anymore. I think I might scrap it. I mean, I think the fire extinguisher being a flamethrower joke is pretty funny, but I don't know, it's just kind of hard. It's just kind of finicky to use at high speeds, which you can achieve some pretty high speeds in this game. So, I don't know, it might be on the chopping block. But for a weapon that is certainly not on the chopping block, it's this game's rocket launcher, the powder cannon. And this thing is really fun. You can hit him with it there. You can see it's got a pretty generous blast radius. But the most fun feature of this weapon is if you charge it, you can fire 3 shots like that in quick succession. So we do that. You can see we can go ahead and freeze him. So yeah, you can rocket jump with it and everything. This is a pretty fun weapon. I really like this one. I think this is definitely going to be a staple in the post-release version. And then another one that I really, really like is the Hoser. This is this game's kind of like Quake lightning gun, except it's a hose of water. And you see it has pretty good damage output. It freezes you pretty fast, but you kind of have to lead your shots because like the stream of water isn't instant. It's not hit scan. So you can see, like, if we do that, we can kind of do that there. Oh, looks like we got an absolute zero freeze. That's pretty cool. Absolute zero is whenever you make it so that their health is at zero exactly whenever they get frozen, which is pretty difficult to do. Then last, we got, I mean, not last, there's still a couple more weapons. I haven't even shown you the best one yet. We got the Arbalist. This is a pretty simple one. It's just this game's railgun. It's pretty good for getting headshots here. Yeah, I mean, it's a railgun. No need to reinvent the wheel. If it's not broke, don't fix it. Then we have another interesting one. This is called the Slush Bucket. The Slush Bucket is... It's kind of hard to see the effect because I really need to redo this particle effect because it looks really bad. But you basically just splash water forward onto your enemy like this. It doesn't do very much damage, but the alt fire, you can see it kind of counted down some of my ammo there. It does a big splash of damage. It does 100, depending on how much you charge it up. So this is another weapon that I'm a little iffy about being in the final release of the game. I don't know, I think having a weapon be this short range in a game where players move so fast and the maps are so open might make it not very fun, but I don't know, I'm not gonna scrap it just yet. And then finally we have my favorite weapon. This one's a treat. So this is the Moab, or Mother of All Bins, and as you see, we only have 5 shots, and the reason why is because this weapon does this. It fires out like a giant Indiana Jones boulder of snow, and it is by far my favorite weapon. It's so fun to use this thing. You can see it kind of rolls around and then eventually explodes. But another quirk of this one is it now grows bigger whenever it is on dynamic snow like this. So you can see if we do a slow shot here, it gets gradually bigger as it rolls across, and as it gets bigger it deals more damage. So that one is really fun. I really, really like the Moab. You don't take damage from your own, so. But yeah, that's all the weapons we got here. Not much changes to the weapon behavior. I've done a little bit behind the scenes stuff with like the with how the snowballs work in that. So now basically the way it calculates headshots, because there's not like an individual head and arm hitbox and stuff, is basically, as you know, the snowball movement is completely deterministic, and it just calculates its next position and then linearly interpolates to it. That's, you know, so that whenever you create a snowball on the server versus client, really all you need to know is the tick that it was created on the client who shot it, the position of that client, and the angle of the snowball. So, you know, it's kind of less overhead on the network, especially because there's no RPCs to like update the snowball's position while it's in the air. But something I have added is what I've called projectile scoot. Now, projectile scoot is really interesting. So what it does is when it sends over that it's that someone created a snowball, like say a client creates a snowball and it sends it over to the server, it fires immediately for the client. But of course, it takes a bit of time to reach the server. And by the time it reaches the server, the client's one is a little outdated. So what it does is, if it is within an acceptable ping, I think the max ping for this is 100? Maybe 120, I forgot exactly what I set it to, but on the server, it will simulate a few ticks forward so that it'll be in line with exactly what the client sees. And then once it relays that snowball to every other client, it does the same thing. So that functionally, it might look a little bit fast for like the very first few frames of the snowball's existence as it zips slightly forward, but it should be practically perfectly in line with everyone else. Of course, there's no latency here because this is just on localhost, so, you know, everything lines up exactly like it's supposed to. Let's see if we can get a long-range shot on him here. Come on, right there. There we go, far out. But yeah, so I've gone ahead and implemented that, and it seems to be working pretty smoothly. There would be a few times where it would get out of sync even on localhost, but it seems like that is pretty much completely eliminated now. Let's see if I can get him over the bridge. Maybe a higher angle here. Yeah, no, that's not happening. Let's just freeze him with this. But, yeah, so every projectile uses the, deterministic behavior, where instead of using, like, a physics object that needs to be constantly synchronized to make sure that it's, constantly in sync with everyone, it just, does a deterministic path and interpolates along it. So, except for the Moab, of course, this one kind of has to be a physics object. Unfortunately, you can't really cheat that like you can with these that just travel in a simple arc. Go ahead, get you out of here. So, yeah, that's what we've got on the projectiles side of things, and weapons and that. I've also added lag compensation for the one hit scan weapon, the Arbalist. So basically what it does is the server keeps a log of every player's position, a certain number of ticks in the past. I believe it's 24 ticks is what it keeps in the cache, which the game runs at 120 ticks per second, so that's about a fifth of a second of caching positions. And when a client fires the Arbalist, it briefly rewinds every player's hitbox to that position. So what it does is it should, in theory, as long as the client is within an acceptable ping, it will be a little closer to, what they see. But of course, if you just, suck at the video game and miss a standing still target like I just did, then it's not going to help you very much. But yeah, it's pretty exciting stuff. As for movement, it's mostly unchanged. Just kind of snowboarding around, making jumps. Just keeping what works. We can go up and grind on a rail here. Actually, let's see if we can combo a rocket jump into it. Nope, we can't. Well, I mean, a more skilled player than me could, even though I am the only player and thus the most skilled in the world at this game. As you can see there. There we go, there's some skill. But yeah. So, that's what we got so far, and also, I've added more little props and stuff, like these random little bushes and patches of grass and things like that, which is pretty fun. But there's still a lot of work that needs to be done. We've made some good progress, and by we, I mean I, because I'm a solo developer, but we made some good progress, and I'm really excited for the day that we finally get to release this, hopefully when the, player doesn't look like this. And, yeah, so I'll see you all in the next updates. This is all I've got for now. Have a good day, everyone.